We have literally and figuratively huge breaking news.
Let me hear it.
What?
Let's hear it. I didn't know about that.
Pelicans are fed up, and they told Zion he needs to stop eating so much food.
Are you serious?
Wait, do we have a graphic or something on this?
It just came out. I just saw it. I just sent it in the chat, okay?
Pelicans have repeatedly stressed to Zion Williamson that his diet and conditioning need to improve, but the former number one pick doesn't listen.
Oh, no.
C. Clark of the Times. Oh, I'm going to do a debut there. Picayune.
Picayune.
That feels like it's spelled wrong. Isn't there an S in there somewhere?
No, Tom's Picayune.
I don't know if that's Cajun. I don't know if that's English there. But this has been the story of Zion, hasn't it?
That's
This has been.
I thought he was playing well, though.
Not last night.
He has been. Last night he had a bad night. I think Charles Barkley came out and was like, "Hey Zion, there's no reason you're not the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
The only reason is because you want to take care of yourself." And that's coming from Charles Barkley, who's obviously post-retirement had his own weight issues, but whenever he was playing, absolute mountain of a man and a monster. I think he respected his profession. Ty, you did a piece. What was that? Last year, I think, about how Zion should be a guy that we remember forever for being a one of one. He's more explosive than any human that's ever been built the way that he's been built. We've seen him since he's like 12 years old doing windmill dunks at a size that you don't expect. He's indenting floors with how big he is. But for one reason or another, it just hasn't gotten through his head that he is an anomaly. And if he was to take advantage of that with the modern options of diet and conditioning, he would be even more of an absolute freak. He was in Las Vegas. Obviously, we saw the press conference of him, Brendan Ingram. This is not a good shot of him. The job obviously must have been in fisheye lens, so that must have been stretching him a little bit, not actually what he looked like in real life. But Ty, this is a thing that has happened to basketball players in the past, every sport, but basketball more specifically. And we've been worried about this for a long time. I'm happy the Pelicans are finally like, hey, enough. You're wasting a career.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing I did was basically about a bunch of these guys who had been drafted in like the top 15, top 10. A couple of them were like top 5 picks in the NBA draft who, same deal. They basically just like ate their way out of the league. Like, you know, they big bodies already, obviously, but just could never get it right. And with Zion, it's kind of getting to the point where it's like you almost just like I love watching him play, but I almost just like don't give a shit anymore because it's clear like he just doesn't give a fuck. You know, like everyone, this is the only knock on him. This is what everyone has said since he's come into the league. Obviously the injuries are part of it, but it's like at some point you kind of have to realize.
Take ownership. He has to take ownership.
Exactly.
Like, what more can a team do?
He's not at Duke anymore. Like they already rewarded him with a massive contract. Like he has massive expectations and he clearly just doesn't give a shit. And I mean, that's one thing. I don't know. I'm sure you guys could obviously speak on this much easier, but I feel like once you get rewarded with that contract and if you actually love basketball and like all the stuff that basketball affords him to do off the court, then like
prove him right.
How hard is it to just find someone who can like get your diet locked in as opposed to just like, no, fuck it. We're in Vegas. I'm gonna go take this replica NBA cup and fill it to the top with ice cream and drizzle pop all over it. And it's
amazing.
like
it was on an 18-wheeler. I saw that thing come in. That'd be a lot of ice cream.
He could do it. I know that.
As somebody who, and Shaq's another guy who obviously was able to put on the weight and lose the weight, but whenever he was in his prime, he was completely focused. I am a human who my weight fluctuated from like 265, 270 down to 233, vastly different position and everything like that. But I realized that I was blowing an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, hey, is this worth my joints just not operating at optimum levels, this food that I'm having, this lack of discipline at the dinner table, breakfast, with the beers, the whiskey, the pizza, the wing. And then like, I finally had to get to a point, and I think Vinatieri and I had a great conversation because Vinatieri took care of himself very, very well. It was like, all that shit will be around when you retire, dude. You know what I mean? Like all that'll be there. And when I got myself into the best shape I've ever been, then I just rattled off my 4 or 5 best years. You know, it's like there's a direct correlation to when your body is your actual work, that when you take care of it, it pays you back. And I just hope that Zion somehow hits a rock bottom and is like, I need to maybe take care of the screen goes completely black. It's one of those.
You hope it's not too late, don't you think? I hope it's not too late when he does figure it out. No, not now. I'm saying, but eventually he's going to have to figure it out at some point, and hopefully it's not too late to where it's already too far gone, and for whatever reason, injuries and different things, you don't figure it out. But it's on him. Yeah, the team can help him as much as they can, but you're a professional, you're an adult. You can hire someone, have someone with him 24 hours a day. People can do whatever they want to sneak food and do whatever. And
Smack food off out of his hand. Just have somebody. There was that as a screen goes black. There's somebody, I forget the story, but somebody was walking through a public place. It's historic. And they were a hero or whatever in these people's eyes. And they hired somebody to walk around him and say, you are just a human. You're just a human. You're just a human, or something like that. That's like the tale almost, that you're reminded and humiliated. It's like, if he needs to hire somebody and pay him 6 figures, pay him $100,000 a year. That's a hell of a job. Pay him $150,000 like a doctor. You know what I mean? And just anytime he's around food, just smack it. Just,
and have a healthy option that tastes good with them. That's the thing. You could have some really, really good tasting food if you hire someone decent, and the team would probably support it too, and bring him on the plane, bring him everywhere.
And imagine what he'd be able to do with how explosive he is.
Oh yeah,
with how explosive he is.
He would feel
if he was to shed the weight vest that he's wearing, which is essentially what it is.
How much does he weigh? Do we know how much he weighs for real? He's such a large human.
285, I bet.
Okay.
At least.
That video, that little Jabba shot there did not do him any.
No, it didn't help. But it is real, and like you brought up Shaq, like a lot of the times when you go back and watch Shaq's documentary, Shaq would talk about like, yeah, sure. When the season would first start, like, yeah, I would use that first month where I wasn't in the best shape, but by the time December rolled around, like they were hitting their stride, and the Lakers were, going back to the finals in that, June after that. But he doesn't even have that. It's almost as if he was in shape before the season more so than he is right now, which is a huge problem. Because how the hell is that happening? Because even that press conference where they're talking about what the celebration will be like that's one thing, and then you get beat by 40, and it's like, okay, that's another thing. Yeah, that's the video right there.
Yeah, but you can tell his teammates love him.
Oh, yeah.
From that press conference, you can tell his teammates love him. So I think this is all coming from a place of love, which is good. But maybe he needs a little bit of like, hey, you're fucking us all. Like I wanted personally Andrew Luck to be a meaner person. Okay, like I wanted him. Andrew Luck's like the perfect human, incredibly intelligent, wildly athletic. Got along with everybody, nice to every human that he encounters, treats nobody different. Like he is the perfect human. But like at some point when you're an NFL quarterback, like if an offensive lineman isn't doing their job, like it's affecting everybody. So like whenever you telling that offensive lineman, like, hey, we need the, okay. Like that's not being a mean person. That's actually being a good teammate to everybody else. Almost, so it's like at some point somebody has to explain to Zion, like, hey, you're screwing us all, buddy. We're paying you a lot of money. You have a lot of potential. Our team could be phenomenal, but for whatever reason, you're choosing not to help us. Like you're letting us all down pretty much with the way you're going about this. And I wonder if that's the messaging that the Pelicans have finally delivered to him, and that's why it's kind of making its way out now as opposed to what it was in the past, AJ.
Well, to that point, Pat, like with them saying he just doesn't listen, like how long does that goodwill last where it's like these guys like him, but like you said, it's like, hey, we have the opportunity to do something special here, and it's really as simple as just like you can't just fucking eat everything in sight, okay? Like that's all you have to do is like be a little bit more disciplined when we're on the road and wherever. Like how long does that goodwill last before these guys are like, hey, listen, we've tried everything and this guy just won't fucking listen. He's got all this money, he's already been paid, he doesn't care, so fuck him. Like we're done trying to, it's like
Zion, as a guy that loves food, it'll be there when you're done, dude. It'll be there. It'll be even better, Ty, won't it?
Yeah,
it'll be even
it
better
will.
With advancements in food. It'll be even better whenever he's retired 10 years from now.
And guess what? Like Diet Coke isn't that much different than regular Coke. Like if you can't give up, if you can't, it is. Terrible. No, it is. Believe me, it is. But if you're drinking 24 cans
Diet Mountain Dew's not terrible.
Nope. If you're drinking 24 cans of unleaded Coke a day, or Starry, find a diet option just to kind of
How many things have they tried by now? Think about this, Pat. If this is coming out and they're saying he just won't listen, they've tried everything. Like the team has thrown everything at him, I would imagine.
I've seen a lot of dudes who have to be big for their job, like offensive linemen, try a lot of things to lose weight quickly because they get fined for the amount of weight that they're over. I assume Zion's tried all those tricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I assume he has tried all the colonoscopy drinks when you just flush out.
It's got to be a
good
lifestyle change, obviously.
Coke
8 pounds overnight.
How old
You know
is
what
he?
I mean? They're
Like 23,
Isn't that
23,
isn't that the
24?
craziest part, Pat? If he's 23, 24, you always hear old people go, "Oh, wait till you get at my age and how tough it is. I look at a cookie and I gain 10 pounds." Like people try to say all those dumb things to you, but he's only 23, 24 years old, man. It's not going to get much easier as he gets older.
He's got to be housing food.
Yes.
Why don't they put him on Ozempic? Why don't
Can
he
he? Is
just
that
do
illegal?
Ozempic?
Yeah, is that illegal? How's that work?
He should be able
Is it
to.
a performance enhancer?
Why wouldn't he be able to? And,
Right, because that is an appetite suppressor.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what it is?
yes.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
I
but if
wonder
you're
they're
eating
testing.
your like weight and food every single day, like how much? I mean, if he's still only eating like 150 pounds worth of food, like is it even going to do
What?
that much? I'm
It'll
sick
help,
of it.
hopefully.
I'm not even bummed out anymore. It's like
Not bummed out.
no, I used to be because he's fun to watch, but now it's like,
Hey,
what
when
the
he
fuck
plays-
are we doing?
When was it? What was the game he had a week or two ago? I was watching the highlights again the other
11
day.
and 12,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, he is absolutely unstoppable. It's scary when he starts going to the hoop and how athletic and nimble how the guy moves. Like it's not right how he can move. Like it's unfair. I think.
Him and
He's always going to be big.
Yeah,
He's always going to be
Yeah,
big.
yeah,
He's like he's a linebacker. He's built like a outside linebacker. So
Can
we
you
respect
imagine
that.
him coming downhill with his head and hands? Oh my goodness, he would explode your
Yeah.
helmet.
Well, I think he'd be a D tackle
yeah,
if he
he's
came into
three,
the NFL,
three technique for sure.
Ooh, yeah.
and he would just be able to eat 2 blocks or whatever. But it's like
And they're food.
Zion, we want to see you at your best, buddy. Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
We love watching you play, Zion.